at The News with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And it feels like one of those damp mornings out there, and the rain is moving in, you said, right?
Yeah, just starting to arrive, and this is the steady rain you mentioned yesterday. It's going to move in, and it's going to be pretty consistent for the entire morning. In fact, a look at the latest conditions outside right now. We first start out with a look at our local radar, and as you can see here, it's still raining pretty consistently out there right now. It started, honestly, as I began to drive into work. It was initially a few spritzy sprinkles here and there, and of course became more steady as the morning progressed. You see here the consistent rain is still moving in, so expect between now through the early afternoon, steady rain. Nothing severe. Just as a heads up, no storms expected, just a typical May rain. But it's cooled down a little bit. It's in the 60s, heading down into the southern portions of New York State, south of the southern tier and downstate New York. But here locally, we're in the 40s, pretty consistently all across central New York and west, with, of course, that steady rain. On top of that, with the low-lying clouds, watch out for some pretty dense fog in those hilltop areas. As you take a look right now in Oneonta, you can see that fog level trying to form here in some of those hilly areas. So that's the only travel impacts to start your day today. Following that, the steady rain will progressively end as we head into the early afternoon. We'll be drying up. Highs approaching maybe the low to mid 50s if we're lucky, but at least for the time being, it's going to be a cooler, rainier May day on tap. Following today, though, we do have some drier weather. But will the temperatures climb? The answer for you coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. President Trump says he is pausing.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Time now is 5:10, going on 5:11. Here's a look what you can expect outside in your forecast in a minute. Well, certainly to start your day today, it's a bit rainy. We take a look right now at the latest conditions outside, and from our Nexus Center camera overlooking the city of Utica, pretty damp as well. Light rain, 47 degrees the temperature, a northwest wind of 7 miles an hour. Feels like 44 out there with that decent wind. Yorkville Battery live radar picking up on that widespread rain arriving in one of these scenarios where it's pretty much the only story today. We got some fog we're tracking here, but aside from the rain, it's really about it. Today, that rainfall will continue until the early afternoon, and then the rain will slowly taper off. Yes, it will still be damp and drizzly and cloudy, but the heaviest of rain will be over and done with. In the meantime, when it comes to any outdoor plans today, as you see here, certainly if you want to get some yard work done late, you feel free to, but things would be rather on the damp side. Tomorrow and Friday, we have isolated brief shower chances, but both days appear to be sunny, dry, just a little breezy and chilly. So if you want to put on that coat, you can still do the outdoor work. The MOCAST is brought to you by Clinton Tractor. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The eyes of the sports world will...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Time now is 5:16, and starting out the day today, you just saw from our tower cam, we have a bit of a foggy start this morning, especially up on our hill in Smith Hill and Deerfield. We look outside in downtown Utica. Of course, pretty damp conditions, rain falling currently outside right now, and as we look at the bigger picture here, we're tracking some of that rain pushing through for much of the morning hours. As we head into the afternoon, we're going to see some drier conditions arriving, and despite that, though, patchy drizzle is still possible. As we enter Thursday and Friday, cooler air works in. Notice here, we're not entirely dry. We've got a few stray showers to track, but the overall trend points to a cooler second half of the work week. So we time it out in our Skycast today. Here's that widespread rain this morning. It's pretty consistent, rather heavy at times throughout the morning. By noontime, we still are tracking that rain, but say by 1, 2 p.m., the heavier rain begins to end. It's just going to be drizzly, cloudy, and damp for your Wednesday evening commutes. Later in the evening, we're tracking maybe a few stray rain showers, light, but nothing really notable. And then by Thursday, we cool down quickly in the morning. We're back into the 30s by 6 a.m. And then as we head throughout the afternoon, a brief cloud passing over us, maybe a brief light sun shower. But overall, it's going to be a very dry, sunny, and breezy day. And as we head into Friday, pretty much the same story here. We start out chilly in the 30s. We climb into the 50s by the afternoon with sunshine and a few stray rain showers heading over the area. So when it comes to wind speed, tomorrow and Friday, a lot breezier than today. We're talking wind gusts between 20 and 30 miles an hour, both on Thursday and then again on Friday. These are northwest winds here, so those wind chills will likely feel a bit cooler. The feels-like temperature throughout the day tomorrow and Friday, likely in the 40s. But there is a plus when it comes to cooler temperatures and rain, and that's pollen. For those that suffer from allergies, well, pollen counts are on the low side today, tomorrow, and then slowly increasing Friday as we head into the weekend. The top culprits here, maple, juniper, and birch. So, following today and tomorrow, you see here we got some rain showers arriving late Friday. Then Saturday and Sunday for Mother's Day weekend, we're dodging some rain, mainly in the first half of the weekend, Saturday. Now, I have a rainfall icon here on Mother's Day itself, but I'm just closely watching how late and how soon the rain moves in. We have multiple rounds of rain, but if things hold based off the data I just looked at in the last few minutes, it could be a drier Mother's Day. So fingers crossed we have one dry day out of the weekend to get out and enjoy it. But at least for now, after the rainfall today, tomorrow and Friday looking mostly dry.
That's good to hear. Eric, thanks. New images from that cruise ship once again, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. As you get ready to head out the door this morning, Eric, it might be a good idea to take that umbrella.
Yeah, umbrella, rain jacket, either way, you're going to need it today because this morning we got widespread rain. Here's a look outside in our Yorkville Battery live radar scans indicating that rain moving in, and it's pretty steady and consistent all across the region right now. We zoom out, and there's plenty more to come. This is not a brief shower. This is going to last consistently through right now until the early afternoon. So, as Gary mentioned, certainly keep that umbrella handy. Temperatures pretty consistently as well in the upper 40s for much of central New York and western New York. The cool down is basically focused in this region here, a bit warmer heading down to the downstate regions of New York State, 66 to start the day in Poughkeepsie. So with the rainfall, we have low-lying clouds. Patchy fog certainly possible in some higher elevations, so just plan accordingly as you head out the door this morning. You can actually see some of that fog starting to form here from our Oneonta camera. There it is right there in the hilltop area. So for example, if you're in the southern valleys heading along Route 23, watch out for fog. If you're in the Mohawk Valley heading north in the hills north of the Mohawk Valley, certainly expect fog there as well. So today, we start out in the 40s, climbing into the 50s by this afternoon. Widespread, consistent rain, drying up a little bit. Now, I do want to mention that although the steadiest of rain ends around 2 p.m., we've still got some lingering drizzle and damp conditions. So I will say it will not be entirely dry this evening. There's a better shot, though, for some drier weather tomorrow and Friday. But will we see any warmth? How will the winds be? Pollen? Of course, a big story in the peak of pollen season right now. All those answers for you coming up in just a couple of minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. This morning, President Trump is putting Project Freedom.
News Channel 2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery in Delhi. This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
A damp scene down in Cooperstown. Welcome back to Sunrise, everybody, on this Tuesday morning. Hope you guys had enjoyed your Cinco de Mayo. Now today, certainly feeling back to a late April, early May-like day. We're in the 40s and 50s, but that widespread rain moving in. I do want to share with you guys a photo, and this is a photo that was sent in to me personally yesterday, and I just had to share it. This is a photo from my hometown in New Berlin. Of course, you might be able to recognize the last name of the photo submitted here. This is my mom who sent this photo in of a double rainbow yesterday morning. What a shot right there, encompassing pretty much all of the western sky there outside the local school. And again, amazing shot right here. If you have ones like this that can showcase the beauty like this one here in every unique moment, go to WKTV.com/weather/pics. That photo and every photo every morning brought to you by GPO Federal Credit Union. Now today, it's a bit rainy out there, but will we see any changes in the weather pattern? Well, certainly as you see right here, we got some drier days ahead, Thursday, Friday, maybe even on Sunday too for Mother's Day. We'll stay tuned for any updates. We'll have the details on that for you in terms of temperature, rainfall, and pollen count coming up in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Broadway Utica has announced its
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. On this Tuesday, we are starting out your day today with damp, rainy conditions. A steady rain for much of the morning hours. Here's a look at downtown Utica, where you can see pretty wet conditions. Keep that umbrella and rain jacket handy for the morning hours today as you head out, because certainly it's not really drying up anytime soon. This rain will move through from the morning into the early afternoon. By the evening, you see here, it dries up, or at least it looks like it dries up, but don't let the radar scans fool you. Despite the steadiest of rain ending, lingering drizzle and damp conditions will likely persist as we progress throughout the evening hours. Eventually tonight, though, we do dry up. However, cooler temperatures are on the way. Not a big cool down, but basically with this type of pattern in place, we're certainly not seeing any more 70-degree highs for the next 3, 4, 5 days. On our Skycast, you can see here that steady rain, heavy at times, rolling through the area. Once that exits, at least the brunt of the low-pressure energy moves its way north and east, things begin to dry up a little bit. But as I mentioned, lingering drizzle is certainly possible for your evening commute. Then as we head overnight, a couple of spotty showers. Then we dry up by early Thursday morning. Based off the fact that it'll be raining for much of the day today, certainly can't rule out some fog forming by the early morning hours. That fog will lift. We'll see temperatures climb into the 50s with blustery conditions, sunshine, and a few spotty showers. Let's repeat that for Friday as well. You can see here some hit or miss rain chances. They're not amounting to much, but overall it's a drier, sunnier day, still a bit blustery, and then a few scattered rain showers late Friday into the overnight hours. As I mentioned, it's a bit blustery. The wind speeds here, we're talking between 20 and 30 mile per hour wind gusts. Sustained winds likely between 10 and 15 miles an hour. Same thing again for your Friday. So both days, the end of the week, are going to be on the breezy side. And lastly, despite the breezy conditions, the cool down, we got some good news when it comes to pollen levels. Of course, this is the brunt of pollen season. And today and tomorrow, because of the rain, because of the cooler temperatures, pollen levels on the low side. So a bit of a reprieve here, with the biggest culprits being maple, juniper, and birch. They will start to increase again as we head into the weekend and temperatures slowly start to climb. But for the time being, at least today and tomorrow, levels are low. Sunshine Thursday, sunshine on Friday, dodging some rain showers late. Saturday, it's looking to be a bit of a rainy one here, especially in the evening hours. And as I mentioned earlier, we are changing that Mother's Day forecast here because, at least for now, What I'm looking at is rainfall dodges the area during the daytime, but we're going to closely watch it. Expect that to change potentially again based off of any new data that comes in. But fingers crossed it holds this way and Mother's Day itself remains mostly dry.
Yeah, let's hope for all the moms out there.
That's right.
Eric, thanks. The Susquehanna SPCA.
News with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Wednesday morning, right?
Yes, Wednesday morning already. Can you believe it?
Wow, the week is flying.
Yeah, time's flying right now, and certainly today we've got some widespread rain to track as well. Let's take a look at the radar right now because unlike yesterday, which we were treated to some dry weather, sunshine and warm weather mixed in with a few passing downpours and thunderstorms, today it's just steady rain for the morning. We can see it right here in the radar scans. The rain is continuing for the next several hours, pretty much between now and say the early afternoon. Expect consistent rain. After that, though, that's when things will start to turn a bit more drizzly and damp and less consistent in terms of that steady rain. You see here we have a look at the temperatures in the 40s for pretty much every location in the Mohawk Valley and west. The only warm spot here, Poughkeepsie, 66 and sunshine. So direct all your frustration toward Poughkeepsie. Just kidding. Either way, it's a very, I would say, mild start to the day today. A foggy start as well in some of those higher elevations. We got low-lying clouds today, so anywhere you head up in those hills, you certainly might encounter some reduced visibility. Live look in Cooperstown this morning. We are pushing near 50 down in the downtown area there, and today we'll be peaking in the mid-50s if we're lucky. Widespread rain. Notice here the rainfall icons consisting beyond 2 p.m. As I mentioned, the steadiest of the rain ends around 2, and we have some lingering patchy drizzle beyond that. But following that, we are looking at some drier, potentially sunnier days tomorrow and Friday, but it might not be similar to what we'd be expecting like we saw yesterday and certainly on Monday. Cooler temperatures, blustery conditions, maybe even a few stray showers. We'll track those for you coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Thanks, and don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. President Trump says he...
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Wednesday morning. Time now 6:11. Here's a look at what we can expect heading out the door this morning in your forecast in a minute. Well, certainly today it's a bit of a washout here. We've got steady rainfall across the region. A look at the latest conditions in downtown Utica. Obviously damp roadways to start your day today. Temperature 46 degrees with calm winds at this point. Sunrise at 5:53 this morning, but certainly you can't quite see it today because of all that steady rain. You can see here pretty consistently all across the Mohawk Valley and every corner of central New York. Now today, our highs will peak near the mid-50s, about as warm as we get. However, we head closer to 5 p.m., well, we'll see some rainfall end. However, the steadiest of rain ends. Still, we've got lingering drizzle, damp conditions. Overall, the damp weather will continue all day long. So in the meantime, if you need to do any yard work, if you want to hold off until a nicer day, tomorrow and Friday, much better conditions. Now, certainly today, lawns may be a bit damp, but if you have to squeeze it in the evening hours, don't mind getting some drizzle on you. Overall, not too bad, I guess. Of course, MoCast brought to you by Clinton Tractor. Gary?
A little cooler.
A little cooler, too, yeah.
Eric, thanks. The eyes of the sports...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. On this Wednesday, widespread rain, the story today. Pretty consistent through much of the morning, early afternoon, and then still a bit damp as we head toward the evening. A live look at downtown Utica from our Nexus Center camera here. Again, you want to have that umbrella, rain jacket, you name it, anything to keep yourself dry today, because certainly the rain isn't stopping anytime soon. We take a look at the bigger picture here. We've got that rain gliding along this cold front, moving its way through the northeast, and it's going to persists for pretty much now through, say, 1 to 2 p.m. After that, we've got patchy drizzle, clouds, damp conditions, and some patchy fog as well as we head toward the evening overnight. Cooler weather arrives as we head into Thursday and Friday. Well, I should say cooler weather aloft. Certainly the temperatures tomorrow and Friday will kind of mimic today's weather, but it will be on the drier side. So you see here, we've got that rainfall pushing through central New York, heavy at times throughout the morning. By around noon, you can really see that rain starting to exit. Still, it's raining until around 2 p.m. Then by 5 o'clock, the steadiest of rain is done for, but it's still a bit damp and drizzly, so can't rule out some drizzle falling on your windshield on your car ride home. After the evening hours, closer to sunsets, we're going to see a few more scattered rain showers, and then following that, maybe some patchy fog early Thursday. Temperatures free falling quickly into the 30s. Then the winds pick up, temperatures climb into the 50s with some sunshine and a stray shower here and there Thursday, and pretty much repeat it for Friday. We start out in the 30s with some lingering patchy clouds and fog and even a few sprinkles here and there. As we head to the afternoon, sunshine moves in. Highs are in the mid-50s with breezy conditions. So when it comes to rainfall, as I mentioned, tomorrow and Friday, not entirely dry, but certainly drier than today. And we're also tracking those gusty winds, wind gusts between 20 and 30 miles per hour, sustained winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, both Thursday and Friday. So it's cooler, it's windier. Yes, we have some sunshine, and plus, another advantage here to the next few days. With the widespread rain and the cooler temperatures, pollen levels are on a low side right now. Same thing for Thursday, returning to medium levels and slowly increasing as we head into Friday and into Mother's Day weekend. Biggest culprits are maple, juniper, and birch. So your 7-day forecast, we've got some sunshine Thursday, dodging a couple rain showers again on Friday. Saturday, more of a rainy day. Sunday, fingers crossed it dries up. As of now, the latest trends point toward a drier Mother's Day, but it's one of those hit or miss situations where data is pretty inconsistent right now. So we'll keep you posted on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
But again, after today's rain, tomorrow it's mainly dry. Friday also mainly dry, and certainly not too bad of a stretch. It's a little chilly.
Yeah, hold off the mowing until tomorrow or Friday.
That's right.
Eric, thanks. New images from Good Morning once again, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. Get ready to deal with some rain this morning. And Eric, just how long are we talking for this rain to stick around today?
Well, a pretty consistent rain, Gary, pretty much an all-day-long event here. It's pretty heavy, or I should say pretty steady right now. Here's a look outside at the latest radar scans where we're seeing, of course, that rain moving in, and it's holding on pretty steady across much of the Northeast, or I should say central New York and western New York for the next several hours. So it started a few hours ago. It's going to continue at the very latest until 1, 2 p.m. with some lingering drizzle onwards beyond that. Temperatures pretty consistent as you head from western New York to central New York. Here we're in the 40s with widespread rain. It's actually a bit warmer heading down south at 66 at Poughkeepsie, but that's the outlier here in what is a damp and rainy morning here across the Mohawk Valley. With these low-lying clouds passing over us right now, there's some patchy fog developing in those higher elevations, so watch out for reduced visibility there. But again, the rainfall is not at a rate where it's overly concerning for in regards to ponding and whatnot, but it's certainly enough to make you have to use your windshield wipers and grab that umbrella. Temperature 49 in Cooperstown, a live scene from there as well. We're climbing into the 50s this afternoon with that rainfall persisting. Notice by 4 to 6 p.m. we still have rain icons here. We've got lingering drizzle in the evening hours with cloudy skies. Certainly the rain is not as heavy, say around 5 p.m. than it is at around 10 a.m. this morning. But regardless, we are looking at some drier days ahead. Not entirely dry, but drier and sunnier. But will we see any warmer days ahead? We'll have the details on that in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. This morning, President Trump is putting...
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to News Channel 2 at sunrise on this Wednesday morning. Our photo of the day today is a unique one that was sent to me by someone familiar to me, and maybe you'll see the name on the screen here, and the last name might ring a bell here. This was taken in my hometown of New Berlin. A double rainbow here sent in by my mom here of a great shot in the western sky of the beautiful rainbow scene there. And yesterday started out downright beautiful. After some early morning rain, it warmed up. It was in the 70s, pushing 80. But certainly we got some cooler days ahead. But either way, it's not that bad, at least in the near future in terms of temperatures. But what a great shot right here. If you have one like this you'd like to send to us to showcase your photography skills, go to WKTV.com/weather/pics. That photo and every photo every morning brought to you by GPO Federal Credit Union. Gary?
All right, Paulette.
Yeah, what a great shot, right?
Yeah, good job, Mom. Eric, thanks. Broadway Utica has...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, time now 6:48. We are starting out the day a bit rainy, and expect the rain to be pretty consistent for the next several hours. Here's a look at downtown Utica right now. A bit of a damp scene out there. Temperatures hovering in the 40s, and we might climb a few more degrees this afternoon, but 40s and 50s the common temperature trend today. Of course, throughout the morning and early afternoon, we've got all this steady rain gliding along this cold front here as it sweeps its way east. Following that, we have some lingering drizzle heading into the evening, maybe a few spotty rain showers. Then cooler air aloft begins to work its way in as we head into Thursday and Friday, certainly not causing any big impacts for our temperatures during the daytime, which will be similar to the highs today, but overnight lows cooling down quickly into the 30s. But let's take a look at our skycast here, because we start out with widespread rain. It remains pretty persistent for the next several hours into the early afternoon. By around 2 p.m., the steadiest of rain begins to diminish, and then we've got clouds, mist, damp conditions overall to start your evening, and then following that, we've got a few spritzy showers here and there as we head into Wednesday night. After that, Thursday starts out with some patchy fog, temperatures in the 30s, and then we're climbing into the 50s by the afternoon. Aside from a stray shower, a mostly dry and sunny day, but a little breezy. Heading into Thursday night, we got a round of some rain showers arriving yet again. This won't be amounting to much, but certainly could be a bit damp to start your day Friday. However, following that, we got some sunshine returning Friday afternoon. Temperatures in the 50s, and then, of course, a stray shower possible later on in the evening through the overnight. Then, of course, Saturday starting out dry, but we got some rain to track as we head into Saturday afternoon through Saturday evening. So, when it comes to wind speeds, today, the wind gusts are peaking between 20 and 30 miles an hour. Sustained winds around 10 to 15 miles an hour. And tomorrow, pretty much the same story, or excuse me, Thursday into Friday. Today's winds, not too bad. So winds pick up tomorrow and Friday. The sunshine moves in, and we have a couple of stray rain showers. But today, though, the one advantage of having widespread rain this time of year, it cuts down on those pollen levels. Look at this right here. We got low pollen counts today and tomorrow. Biggest culprits here are maple, juniper, and birch. We do see a slight increase Friday and heading into the weekend as temperatures slowly rise. Not a big warm-up. You can see here we're pushing the low 60s by Saturday and on Sunday. We got that rainfall arriving Saturday, a bit of a rainy one, and then Sunday, we're cutting it close for rain. Fingers crossed, though, it remains on the dry side for your Mother's Day. After that, we're in the low 60s Monday, upper 50s on Tuesday. This is the average trend of temperatures we're looking at least for the next week or so. Slightly below average means anything below 65 degrees. So mid-50s, low 60s, mid-60s. A pretty decent but slightly cool stretch of weather ahead.
Yeah, warmer weather is on its way.
Fingers crossed it moves in.
Eric, thanks. The Susquehanna SPCA held an open house on Tuesday for the public to...
With Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
Today can be classified as a soaker so far, right?
Easily, yeah. It's good soaking rain today. It's been steady. That's really been the main story today. In fact, a live look at a rainy Cooperstown. It's pretty much been this scene all across central New York over the last few hours. Yorkville Battery live radar showing us we have some of the heavier rain starting to move its way eastward. And as I mentioned earlier this morning, right around this time until between 1 and 2 p.m., we're going to start to see the rainfall somewhat fizzle out. Now, we're still tracking some lingering drizzle, some mist, some clouds. It's not going to be entirely dry later today, but at least the steadiest of the rain will be ending. And for sure, you can really see a good gradient in the temperatures here this afternoon. We're still hovering in the 40s, heading farther to the south, 64 in Poughkeepsie with that rainfall approaching, so you can kind of see where that cooler air is working in. Now, the next 12 hours, you see right here, a stray drizzly shower here and there, highs in the low 50s. Tonight, we've got clouds lingering, likely diminishing as we're going to see some clearer skies early tomorrow, a chilly start, but looking at some more sunshine chances later this week. But how warm will we get over the next few days, and will there be any more rainfall as well? Along with that sunshine, we'll be diving into that final few days of the week, as well as that early preview of Mother's Day weekend straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. We have learned today that
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. What a rainy day it's been here across central New York. Time now is going on at 12:12, and we begin your afternoon with a look right now at Oneonta. A bit of a misty, damp scene out there. Currently pretty steady rain, I should say, passing over the city right now. As we look ahead to the next few hours, we're going to see this low pressure continue eastward. We're actually going to dry up a little bit, but drying up is relative. It'll still be damp, misty, cloudy. Just the brunt of the rain is exiting. Following that, it's going to cool down as we're going to see a cooler air mass approach from the northwest. Now, this is not going to produce a whole lot of big changes in our local weather, but certainly this is going to keep our overnight lows on the chilly side and keep those daytime highs on the slightly cool side. But let's jump in here. So today, the cloud cover and the rain is what's keeping the temperatures on the cooler side. We're only in the 40s, pushing 50 degrees. Once this widespread rain finally exits, we're going to see temperatures still hover in the upper 40s, low 50s, with a few scattered showers overnight tonight. Tomorrow, again, as that cooler air works in, now the driving force for the cool weather is, of course, that cold air aloft to our northwest. No longer the rain and cloud cover we saw today. Lingering fog in the morning. We got a pretty sunny afternoon Thursday. A stray shower possible, yes, but otherwise a mostly dry day. Now, Thursday evening through Thursday night, we're going to see a couple of scattered rain showers roll through. Nothing really notable. In fact, once this passes over us in the morning hours Friday, it does dry up again with more sunshine, temperatures in the mid-50s. So, yes, we're dodging some rain, we're dodging some clouds, but otherwise it's a pretty quiet next couple of days. Saturday, though, appears to be more on the rainy side. Winds a bit blustery tomorrow and Friday, just as a heads up, so I know winds aren't too bad today, but certainly with the cooler temperatures, it's going to feel a bit chillier as we head into the end of the week. But as I mentioned this morning, the one plus to the cooler temperatures and the widespread rain, the pollen count is lowering. And I know especially this time of year where pollen is a big story, lots of allergies during allergy season. Well, today and tomorrow on the low side. On Friday, though, the pollen count begins to increase. The biggest culprits, as you see right here, the allergens being maple, juniper, and birch. So, at least for now, a bit of a reprieve, but still, it is that time of year. And sure enough, as temperatures slowly increase heading toward the weekend, certainly pollen counts will also rise. So, Obviously, this weekend's Mother's Day weekend. Saturday is looking a bit rainy. Sunday, it's up in the air right now. What I can tell you is it's trending more on the dry side and sunnier side, which I think for a lot of you watching is probably what you want to celebrate all the mothers out there. But either way, we're in the upper 50s, low 60s, so the temperatures are slowly increasing. And beyond that, upper 50s, low 60s are the trend for the middle of May. So if anyone's wondering, well, is there any big heat wave? For now, not really, but there's no big cool down either. We're just smack in the middle in the 50s and 60s.
And today it's going to dry up.
Yes, a little bit this evening.
Yeah. Eric, thanks. Ted Turner, the meteorologist. Eric Gage joining us now. And despite all the rain today, look at this. A difference from yesterday.
Yeah, look at that. The wind's not as windy, but maybe some more winds later on this week. But at least for now, you see here it's rather quiet in terms of any major activity. Aside from the rainfall, which has been the theme here today, steady rain, nothing severe, nothing warranting flood concern, just a typical spring rain. Now this rain is exiting to the east. You notice behind it we have some lingering drizzle, and this is what we're expecting for the remainder of the day today. Cloudy skies, patchy drizzle, not entirely drying out. So bear that in mind for your evening plans. Temperatures are also going to struggle to hit the 50-degree mark this afternoon, so it's going to be a cooler day, cooler evening, and inevitably it's going to be a pretty chilly overnight tonight. We're going to go from the 50s down into the 40s by midnight. We're at 45 by 6 a.m. tomorrow. We're likely in the 30s, developing a few areas of patchy fog. So tomorrow morning, a little foggy. Then we've got some sunshine, but also breezier conditions. So that flag in Cooperstown might be waving a bit harder tomorrow, especially on Friday too. So sunshine, yes. Are there any rain chances? And if so, anything really notable? We'll talk about that, plus an early preview of your Mother's Day weekend forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Suspected.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everybody, on this Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. And today we're certainly dealing with some decent rainfall. Nothing really dangerous with this. Obviously, no severe risk, no storm risk, no lightning, just a typical spring rain. Here's looking Oneonta right now. It's starting to dry up. We still have some lingering rain showers, heavy at times in the eastern portions of our area. But you notice behind it, we have some less rainy conditions to follow. This evening, it's damp, it's misty. Overall, that's what we're trending for the rest of the day today. Now, as we head into tonight, we're going to see some skies clear out. We drop into the 30s, and then tomorrow and Friday, we've got 40s and 50s for your highs. Now, this time, the temperatures tomorrow will be aided by that cooler air working in versus today, which it's remaining cool simply just due to the steady rain we're seeing. But after the steady rain we saw this morning, as you see right here, it's already starting to dry up a little bit, drying being relative. Now as we enter tonight, as I mentioned, we're going to see some skies begin to clear out as we head into the early morning hours tomorrow. Patchy fog, certainly possible, especially with the humidity currently in the air right now. So, after a foggy start in the afternoon, we got some sunshine, a stray shower or two, but a generally dry day. Highs in the 50s and decent northwesterly winds, which I'll talk about here in a minute. Then overnight into Thursday night into Friday morning, we're going to see a few more scattered rain showers. After that, it's going to dry up with some sunshine in the afternoon. Yes, a stray shower here and there, but again, a generally dry day for your Friday. Certainly in the early evening, it's looking a lot to be that case. Skies remain clear Saturday overnight, Friday night to Saturday morning, and then we've got more rain to arrive on Saturday as well. When it comes to wind gusts, you see here tomorrow and on Friday, we're seeing sights like this. Wind gusts between 20 and 30 miles per hour, sustained winds between 10 and 15 miles per hour. So it's a bit of a blustery stretch of weather and certainly a cooler stretch of weather. But the rain that arrived today has produced something positive for those of you that suffer from allergies. Well, low pollen counts today and tomorrow increasing a little bit as we head into Friday at a medium level, even increasing more as we approach the weekend itself. The top allergens, maple, juniper, and birch. So today, as you see right here, we've got a bit of a cooler stretch. We're in the 50s. As we approach the weekend, upper 50s Saturday, rain showers. Mother's Day itself, 62. It's looking mostly dry, but we'll see how that pans out in terms of rainfall. Remaining in the low 60s for Monday and upper 50s Tuesday. And that appears to be the trend for much of the early part of May. Upper 50s, low 60s, a seasonably cool stretch of weather, but again, Gary, at least it's not snowing.
Yeah, and celebrate Mom whether it rains or not.
That's right.
Eric, thanks. The Neighborhood Center has...
First look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. Some great pictures and this is video of hummingbirds returning.
Yeah, they're back. This is from New Hartford, Deborah. We've got the feeders out, ready to go. And I wanted to show you this on such a gloomy day. I mean, it's kind of hard when we get days like this in the spring. It's in the 40s. It's raining all day. But there are brighter days ahead. The hummingbirds know it. The hummingbirds are back. Cheer up. We do have better days ahead, too. We're looking at the tail end of rain moving through central New York this evening. It has been a soaker, as expected. We picked up about ½ inch to an inch of rainfall, so a little bit lower than initially expected, but still a soaking rain across central New York. The current temperature 44 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. We'll clear out tonight. Sunshine returns tomorrow. Looks like a beautiful day. A cool stretch of weather is going to be sticking around, at least for the short term, with additional chances for rain ahead. It's not going to be a washout like today, at least anytime soon. Decreasing clouds tonight, low of 36. We are tracking, again, a stretch of some sunshine here. Look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. And only on to
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look in downtown Utica. It's been a dreary day and a pretty cloudy evening. There's still some lingering showers across central New York, so it's going to take a little while for this rain to come to an end, but it will. We will get a chance to dry out overnight. A reminder, you can always get weather information on the go by downloading our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. Temperatures are in the low 40s this evening. It really hasn't changed very much. We only were in the upper 40s this afternoon, briefly hitting 50. But as we look ahead, weather is going to stay cooler than average for this point in May. We even have a couple of frost chances ahead, specifically tomorrow night. I think that's our best chance for frost, our most likely chance for frost. We're into the 30s tonight and into the 30s the next 3 nights. And it's just a reminder that you've got to be careful with your plant. It's not just getting down to 32 degrees. There's some types of plants like tomatoes and peppers. They're not going to be happy if it's below 40. So again, just be careful with your plant this time of the year. We don't get away from frost until the end of May. Dry conditions tomorrow, an isolated shower late Friday, a better chance for rain as we head into the start of the weekend. Looking to cut the lawn? Tomorrow could be a good day to do that if you get a chance to dry. The lawn gets a chance to dry out. Friday would be your next best option. Saturday, not so much. We're expecting rain. Our MoCast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor. Bigger picture shows a cold front rolling through. We've been dealing with the backside of it throughout the entire day. The weather is looking dry as high pressure works in from the west. Tonight, skies clear out. Overnight lows drop down into the 30s. Sunshine tomorrow for most of the day. Should be a really nice afternoon. A couple of fair weather cumulus clouds. But I do think we're dry throughout the entire day. Temperatures in the mid-50s. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy skies. Overnight lows drop down to the 30s. On Thursday night, again, we're expecting partly cloudy skies, chilly conditions. We're down into the low to mid-30s. And Friday looks pretty nice, too. Partly sunny skies. Late day showers possible. Temperatures in the mid-50s. Decreasing clouds tonight. Low temperature of 36. Tomorrow, partly sunny skies, highs in the mid-50s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Late day shower Friday, 56. Tracking rain Saturday, 59. Mother's Day, just a few showers, 62. And temperatures stay in the 50s next week. Rain chances Monday and Wednesday. We'll be right back.
Let's look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. It was a gloomy day today.
Yeah.
So why not show something to make us smile?
Exactly. So the hummingbirds continue to move into central New York despite the rain, despite the gloom. This is some video taken yesterday in New Hartford from Deborah. Yeah, they're hanging out. They're hungry. They've been traveling quite a ways. So if you have the feeders, it's time to put them out. And it's also just a reminder that as gloomy days like this do happen, the hummingbirds know what's ahead, as do we. We're going to have some nicer weather here. And it starts tomorrow. I think we'll get some sunshine here. But wow, it was a gloomy day. We picked up a ½ inch to an inch of rain region-wide. The steadiest rain fell north of the Mohawk Valley. We're still seeing a few sprinkles out there. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Temperatures have been pretty much stuck in the 40s all day. We're cloudy and 44 degrees. And we'll cool off a little bit tonight as skies will gradually clear out. It will be chilly. We'll drop into the upper 30s overnight, but I think we'll stay away from frost. Sunny skies tomorrow. Looks beautiful. And the weather generally cool, at least for this point in May, as we head throughout the rest of the weekend into the weekend. Decreasing clouds tonight, low of 36. We're tracking sunshine tomorrow, as well as Friday, along with some rain chances ahead. We'll look at the forecast coming up. Jay's back to you.
Bill, thank you. New tonight.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We are continuing to keep an eye on the radar this evening. The rain is moving to the east, and we are getting a chance to dry out, but it's a process. Some patchy fog will be left behind, and skies remain mainly cloudy, at least for the next couple of hours. We'll see decreasing clouds overnight. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Again, this is the back edge of some light rain that continues to move through central New York. Reminder, you can always get weather information on the go by downloading our Storm Tracker 2 weather app and get radar images along with the latest watches, warnings, and again, any rain that's near your location that comes down pretty heavy, it'll notify you of that along with lightning. Cooler conditions prevail tonight with skies clearing out. We'll briefly drop into the upper 30s. We do have frost chances specifically tomorrow night. Temperatures will be in the low to mid 30s across central New York. So it's just a reminder that you want to hold off planting anything sensitive to frost. Remember, it's not always just getting down to 32. There's some plants that have a hard time when temperatures fall below 40. So just keep that in mind. Other plants actually like this kind of weather, so it just depends on what you're doing. But again, frost chances will continue for the next couple of nights. Rain chances will not. We will get a chance to dry out tomorrow. Looks like a partly to mostly sunny day. Looks like a nice afternoon. An isolated shower here Friday. Next chance of widespread rain late Saturday. With that in mind, if you need to cut the lawn, tomorrow should be a good day for that. Friday early in the day, if tomorrow's lawn doesn't dry out. Saturday, not so much. Again, that's our next chance for rain. Our MoCast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor. Rain continues to move to the east. We've got dry weather working in for tomorrow, and again, decreasing clouds tonight. Temperatures will drop into the upper 30s. Looks like a beautiful Thursday. Plenty of sunshine. Temperatures climb into the mid-50s. A breeze will pick up in the afternoon. We'll stay dry tomorrow night. Overnight lows drop down into the mid-30s. Friday looks pretty nice, too. A little bit more cloud cover Friday, and a slight chance for a shower, especially later in the day with high temperatures in the mid-50s. Tonight, decreasing clouds, a low of 36. Tomorrow, partly sunny skies, highs in the mid-50s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. A few late-day showers here Friday, 56. Rain arrives Saturday. It's steadiest in the afternoon. Not like today, though, where it rains the entire day. Mother's Day, a few showers late, 62. Temperatures will be in the upper 50s early next week with rain chances Monday and Wednesday. We'll be right back.